On behalf of Tata Steel, I thank you for registering for this webinar on 7QC tools presented by quality and lean manufacturing expert A.N. Singh. Quality is a very important quality for successful businesses to uphold. It is vital that customers are given products and services that are helpful for them and therefore worth every rupee they pay. To ensure the best possible products and services are sold to customers at a consistent level, businesses should take control and monitor quality measures. This webinar on 7QC tools will give you an overview of time-tested tools developed to identify problems and detect ways to solve them. It is crucial for businesses to make the most out of these statistical methods. These help to optimize efficiency and use of resources in order to yield consistently high profits and successful processes. Welcome to the webinar once again. I also encourage you to use this opportunity to ask questions by typing them out on the panel on your right. These will be answered by Mr. Singh as you post. Now over to Mr. Singh.
Thank you, Minnie. Okay, friends, very good evening. Welcome to the Manufacturing Excellence series of webinars. In the previous webinars, I've discussed about zero defect, zero effect, lean manufacturing, 5S and visual management, Kaizen. Now, in this series, we want to understand how to improve quality, because quality is the essence of business. Everybody as a customer wants quality. The quality is a dynamic target. It is continuously increasing. Whatever the best today, tomorrow, if it is not improved, it may become the worst. So this is a continuous journey to improve the quality. The survival and growth of any organization, whether it is small, medium, or large, depends mainly on the quality of its products. If quality is not good, all the effort is waste. So let's come to this theme, how to improve the quality, because it has to be improved every day. As I mentioned earlier also, every small industry is like a small plant planted in the nursery, which can become a big banyan tree. The same way, any small industry, it has a potential to become a multinational corporation. If it can continuously improve its quality, provide value to customers, the demand of their product will continuously grow. One of the latest examples in the small and medium sector is the Havels, which was a few years back a small company making simple switches. In fact, they started with a trading, then started making wires, electrical wire switches, and now it has become a multinational company. It's operating in 50 countries just in last few decades. So small enterprises, they can become a large multinational corporation provided they go on continuously learning and improving their processes using the best practices adopted by the global leaders of the world. Before starting any initiative or any activity, we must be very clear about the goals. What is the ultimate goal of every organization is basically the continuous growth. And with reference to this particular webinar, the profit is one of the subset of growth. there are four areas which require growth: the financial, customer value, processes, and the people. The profit is essential for survival and growth of the company. Now, in this particular webinar, we are just taking a theme of how to improve the profit through improvement of quality. There are two school of thoughts for increasing the profitability of any organization. Traditional thinking is the whatever the production cost comes, you add your profit margin and fix your selling price. This is the way to increase your profit. If you want to increase your profit margin. Another school of thought is that if you want to improve your profitability, you reduce the cost. In traditional thinking, which is being adopted by most of the companies, they think only just by increasing the profit margin we can increase our profitability. This was good in the 20th century, early 20th century, when the demand was more than the supply. Then whatever prices you are having, you can make it. Even I have seen in 1970s the steel. I worked in the steel company. The, there was no competition. There was a tremendous demand, but not adequate supply. So all the items were being sold at a premium. Even the Vespa scooter, Fiat car, they were being sold in the 70s with a premium. But today, the situation is totally changed. There's, right from the pin to the jumbo jet, every product has got a more supply than the demand. So now the industry has to change their thinking from traditional thinking to the lean thinking, which is dominating today. If you want to improve your profitability, you have to reduce your costs. So, how to reduce costs? The 7QC tools are going to help you to reduce the cost. That's why we have selected this particular topic in this webinar. So, what makes your products costlier? Let's understand. Any products ex-factory cost is the cost of product and cost of waste. Along in any process, along with a good quality product, we are making a lot of waste also. So waste is increasing cost. Most of the waste are invisible, or the most of the companies are not aware about how much waste they are making it. So the basic, if you want to reduce cost and improve profitability, first you have to hit the waste. You have to reduce the quantum of waste, as you see in this one. With the same selling price, with less wastage, there is a more profit margin. How it can be done? By using the modern management tools, quality management tools. Waste has to be reduced. Why Japanese companies are making more profit? Because their waste quantum of waste is less, and that's why they are having a more profit margins. They become more competitive. So the secret behind the success of any company is how less waste a company is making. In future, my suggestion is that you just watch how much waste is being generated in your company. Try to reduce the waste, automatically your profit will go up. So this is the new thinking. So before reduction of waste, let's understand how the waste is generated, genesis of waste. So every company is nothing but a value creating chain of various processes. So many processes, right from order taking, the marketing, selling, procurement, design, procurement, production, quality management, shipping, all these are just like a chain. Every chain is linked with that. If any chain is weak or broken, so that will impact ultimate outcome of the organization. So, so company is nothing but value creating chain of several links, several processes. In every process, what we do, we are using 4M's, the materials, machines, men, and methods, which is creating a product. In this process, in every process, we are doing only two types of activities: value added and non value added activities. So, value added activities, they generate what is required by the customer, and wasteful activities, they generate undesirable elements. That adds only cost, causes delay, causes customer satisfaction, and ultimately it makes companies to become sick. So any company, those who want to be healthy, they must watch their waste and try to minimize it to increase profitability and health of the organization. Let's Value is a very powerful term. In a simple language, what is a value is a capability provided to a customer through three characteristics: world class quality, timely delivery, and competitive price. Customer is looking from a supplier only three things: best quality, delivered just in time when it is required by the customer, and price has to be competitive. So these three things are the main characteristics of value as quality, price, and speed. And what is a waste? Any business activity that absorbs resources but does not add any value from customer perspective. Waste, in fact, the real Japanese term is the muda, which is much more than the waste. So it is not just a physical scrap or physical rejected product, it is much more than that. Anything more than the minimum requirement of material, energy, equipment, space, time, effort, or any other resources is waste. We have to see that even the time, energy, space, everything has to be reduced to the minimum. It should be just bare minimum, which is essential, that should be used. So based on the experiences of the Toyota, they identified 8 categories of waste: the defect, overproduction, waiting, non-utilized talent, transportation, inventory, motion, extra processing. I have discussed in detail in the earlier webinar on the lean manufacturing. Here, to improve the quality, we are just taking the very first waste, the defect, and how to reduce the defects to improve the quality. What is a defect? Defect is a deviation from the specification or deviation from the customer requirement. Defects directly impact quality. What we see as a defect or rejecting as a scrap, that is just tip of iceberg. If you just see here below the tip, there are so many hidden things which are impacting the organization very adversely, like rework loops. Rework, any defective is generated, it can be either scrapped or reworked. Rework consumes time, effort, and money, adds cost. It takes longer time, means more defect, means longer lead times, more inventory, more capital cost. The customer complaints are generated, capacity of the reduced, productivity is reduced. So the impact of defects is much, much greater than the level of scrap what we see. So it is eating away the profit margins of the company. So the very first and the most important waste which must be addressed by every company is the defect, because every customer is looking for the quality, and defects adversely impacts the quality. So every company should have a clear target which is communicated to every employee. Today's competitive world, what is the target? Zero defect. The companies, they must make that 100% quality guaranteed by them. That is the target. They have to improve the quality of their processes and people to ensure that 100% quality product is developed. So why defects are generated? We must know the reason of that. If you see any company, if defect is generated, there is a difference between the current condition and the target condition. If target requires 100% quality or 99% quality, but we are getting just 90% quality product, means difference of a 9% between the target and actual. Why this is 9%? Defects are generated because of certain invisible obstacles or the problems within 4 M's of the process. Means we are not able to see the defects are because of certain hidden obstacles or what we call it problem. So to improve the quality, we have to solve the problems which is causing the defects. So the cause of poor quality is the problems in your process. These problems may be hidden either in the materials or methods or the machines or the operator's skill, knowledge skill. So the problem is the greatest challenge for any company. Those companies who can solve problem quickly and correctly, they will grow in the future. So do your people really know how to solve the quality problems? I'm sure that most of the companies, they don't have any exposure of new techniques of quality problem solving. So of course everybody tries by their own intellect, by their own learning, common sense to solve the problem. But to solve the problem, we have to follow the scientific approach, which is validated and experimented in the best companies of the world. So the your people can be classified in two categories. Either they are the problem or they are the solutions. If they can solve the problem, they are part of the solution. But if they don't know how to solve the problem, they are the part of the problem. So my suggestion, just you analyze whether you are part of problem, your people are part of problem or part of solutions. You can classify all the employees of your company who are in the which part is the part of the problem or part of the solutions. How they can become part of the solution? Only once they know how to solve the problem. Know what is the technique to be used, what are the tools to be used, then only they can be part of the solution. So lean is today globally recognized the best methodology for the manufacturing sector, and throughout the world all the leading companies, progressive companies, small or big, are trying to learn and implement lean. So lean approach to improve quality is a three-step approach. First, detect the problem which are causing defects. Then solve the problems using scientific methodology and the problem solving tools. Then the prevent recurrence of those problems so that they never happen again. So all these three phases has to be has to use a different set of problem solving tools. There are thousands of problem solving tools are there. So each step require a different type of tools. So the quality is never an accident. It cannot happen by itself. It has to be managed. It is always the result of intelligent effort. How it can be done? First, people must learn the knowledge of quality management tools, then the skill how to use these tools, and then the practice they have practically use these tools in their processes. Then only it can be internalized. So just to have a quality product, people have to be trained, then only they can produce quality. Now, quality improvement requires two things: tools and techniques. As I mentioned, why defects are generated? Because some hidden problems or obstacles within the four M's of a process. How to solve it? How to solve these problems? We need a technique and set of tools. So what we are going to discuss today means now there are varieties of tools and techniques developed during last 4 decades in the world. So like ISO 9000 is one of the quality management techniques. I'm sure many of the companies must have got certification, but I doubt up to what extent they have really learned and used it. But doesn't matter. At least some quality initiative is there. Then another is the lean manufacturing, which is the most popular today. It has got a lot of tools to improve the quality and reduce the defects. Then Six Sigma is the advanced statistical techniques which uses a software also, but it requires very good knowledge and understanding of statistics. Then total quality management evolved during last few decades as improved all aspects of quality of the organization. The latest one is zero defect, zero effect. A few months back, I delivered one webinar on it, and that is going to be the future future approach for improving the overall quality of small and medium enterprises. The Kaizen, many of you must have heard. The Plan, Do, Check, Act is the one of the technique which is used to solve the problem. Balance scorecard is another technique which addresses the financial process. people and customer addresses. Theory of constraint is another methodology, and the 7 QC tools are the simple but which are very powerful, which can be applied. So in this, why I have selected 7 QC tools, because these are the very powerful tools which can help to improve the quality and which can be understood, easily understood by proper training by small and medium enterprise people. So the main emphasis of this particular webinar to give you exposure of 7 QC tools. Of course, this is going to give you an idea how powerful it is, how it can be used, but it requires detailed training of your all operators and supervisors and managers to put in practice. So here the technique used for quality improvement is PDCA, Plan, Do, Check, Act. This is in fact developed by Stewart and made popular by one of the quality guru, Edward Deming. So any problem solving that has 4 phases: plan, do, check, act. So by using the PDCA technique, the quality related problems can be solved, and as the time passes, continuous improvement that takes you to the topmost quality. So this PDCA has 4 phases. In the planning phase, first you have to set your goal, then find out what is holding you to achieve your goal. Then develop a solution to eliminate the obstacles or the problems and implement it. And then check whether your action of the implementation at do phase is really effective. Is it helping you to improve quality? If it is improving, then you standardize the method, stabilize it, train all your people, and ask them to follow the new method. If it is not, during check phase, you find that your actions are not impacting in to get desired result, then you have to go back and revise your plan for the improvement. So this is a PDCA is the technique to be used, and during the plan do check act you need a set of tools. During planning a different kind of tools are required, doing phase different type of tools, checking phase different type of set of tools, and act phase different. So the 7 QC tools are the universal, versatile, and most powerful tools which can be used even by small and medium enterprises to improve the quality. The real quality guru of Japan is the Kaoru Ishikawa. I had the opportunity to get training in Japan. Well, I've gone through a lot of literature of Ishikawa and seen several videos of Ishikawa. He says that 95% problems can be solved by 7 QC tools. This statement is unquestionable because the real quality guru of world, I'll say, the Ishikawa, who brought Japan to this level. So what are these 7 QC tools? Why they are called 7 QC tools? In the ancient period before the World War I, almost most of the countries of the world have many kingdoms, small kingdoms, and every king wanted to increase their territory and how they are doing just by the war, winning the war. The same way in the Japan, there was one famous big warrior named Benkei. He used to keep 7 tools, just like in the we have seen in Mahabharata, Bhala, Gada, Dhanus, Talwar, like so there were many tools used by the warriors. The warrior Benkei, he used to have 7 similar type of tools all the time with him, and he was the biggest winner of most of the wars. His weapons, Benkei owned 7 weapons which he used to win all his battles. Similarly, from my own experiences, as Ishikawa says, you will find that you will be able to solve 95% of the problems around you if you wisely use the 7 tools of quality control. So this is the statement given by, I regard, the greatest quality guru of the world, Ishikawa. So these 7 key tools he popularized and trained to every Japanese, which has made the Japan during last 70 years the world's top most quality company. So learning from their experiences, what I feel in our country, especially for SMEs, they must master the 7 QC tools to do these problems. These 7 QC tools are check sheets, bar graph, Pareto chart, histogram, cause and defect diagram, scatter diagram, and control chart. These 7 tools are used selectively during plan and do check phases of problem solving based on their utility and the requirement. Now let's come to brief understanding of check sheets. Many of you must be using check sheets, especially auditors, to verify the data. Because quality improvement can be made by collecting and analyzing the factual data. So the very first requirement of quality improvement or defect reduction, we must have data which is causing defects and related process variables. The collection of the data is the greatest challenge. Accuracy and correctness of the data is important. For that, check sheet is used, which can classify various factors which are causing defects, and we can collect the data in a simple way so that it cannot create any problem. So any question if you are having, please you can type on your computer. The next one is the bar graph. If you are having figures in a table form, it becomes very difficult to read and promptly understand it. But just like if it is put in a graphical form like a bar graph, say for example, 12 bars are made for last 12 months production, you can immediately, just in few seconds, you can find that how much production was there during every month and what is the variation in the production. So the bar graph is one of the simple technique which presents all data in graphical form to make you understand and take a decision promptly. Third is the Pareto chart. It was developed by economist Gary in France. He found out that 20% of wealth, 80% of national wealth, that lies only with 20% of people. And just 80% of the people, they have only 20% of the wealth. That is true for every country. Even a few days back, I have seen in the Economic Times where such kind of analysis. So gradually that Pareto analysis was taken to the quality management where so many problems are there. So same principle applies. Vital few, trivial many. Just 80% problems, 80% lets me call it the quality defects are due to only 20% of the problems. Rest 20% problems are because of the many 80% trivial causes. So there are hundreds of problems in your company. So which one is to attack on priority, that is decided by the Pareto chart. It helps in prioritizing the problems so that we can solve them quickly to gain more defect, more outcome, positive outcome with a lesser effort. The next one is the histogram. It is used to show the distribution of variable data. Histogram, this is the frequency, show the frequency distribution. This is the basis for the Six Sigma mathematical approach to solve the quality problems. It provides more understanding than a list of numbers. Here, if you see, it is a bell-shaped curve that is showing the frequency, whatever the target value is there, that the mean is there, maximum comes below the target, and over the target value, there is always less tendency. So this helps us to analyze the pattern of process outcomes. Fifth is the cause and effect diagram. This is a very famous technique. In fact, philosophically, if we see, this is the cause and effect diagram is based on the laws of nature. Everything, whatever is created, it is due to some cause. There is always a cause for any effect, whether it is good or bad. Without a cause, there cannot be any effect. So any defect in the process, quality defect or abnormality because of certain cause. Unless we eliminate the cause, we cannot eliminate the defect. Just like some of the fevers because of some infection, bacteria is there inside our body. Unless we remove the bacteria, we cannot eliminate the fever. So same principle applies and very widely used in the quality management, because earlier I discussed that every process has got a 4M: the man, material, methods and machine. Same can be further classified as environment, measurement and subgroups. So any quality defect if happening in your process, it is either due to some hidden defect in the operators, or some machine defect, or something wrong in the material, or something wrong in the process. So, but we don't know where that cause is hidden. Just to detect the exact cause, we have to use the cause and defect diagram to find out what is causing the defect. So this is the most commonly and the most powerful tool used to find out the cause of the defect, which must be addressed to improve the quality. Scatter diagram is another statistical approach where when two variables are there, just like a temperature, let me take example of hardness of steel sheet and the breakage of a deep drawn component, just to ascertain that is there any linkage relationship between hardness and the defective deep drawn component. With this kind of variable, one can establish. If it is going in a particular fashion linear, then there is a relation. If there is no relation, it can be scattered uniformly throughout the graph. The seventh is the control chart, is most commonly used for controlling the quality. This is very, very important and very simple, which must be learnt and applied in every process of small and medium enterprises. This control chart, if you see there, the points are varying above the target line, above and below the target line. As long as they are within the control limit, it means process is in the statistical control. But once they cross the upper or lower red line, that is control limits, then there is something wrong in the count. So this way, the moment any outcome that goes out of control, so this gives indication to the operator there is something wrong, and he or she checks, verifies and takes appropriate action. So this is most important for having an effective process control to ensure quality products. So these are the 7 QC tools this webinar is just going to introduce you about the importance and how they work, but it requires very practical training of the people in the company to put in practice. So now let's see how to improve quality using 7QC tools. So far I've just discussed about technique of PDCA, which uses 7QC tools to improve. Now let's have a practical understanding how to actually use these 7QC tools. So I have especially selected one very simple case study which can be understood by everybody. Just like every day, all of us are using bread and butter in our breakfast. So this is a typical quality improvement study using 7QC tools, a case study which can help you to understand the use of 7QC tools and its power. So it is serving every day 300 guests during 8 to 9 a.m. Always order for a pair of toast, which is to be served within 7 minutes, but since last 2 months, wait time for toast has increased to 12 minutes. Production cost of toast has also increased during that period from rupees 20 per pair to 30 per pair, and bread consumption has also gone by 50%. It means a lot of defective toasts are being produced in the kitchen of the coffee shop. Manager of the coffee shop was asked by CEO to reduce the cost and improve service quality within 4 weeks. Manager took help of a management consultant to develop a system to improve quality and reduce cost using proven problem-solving tools. So here the quality consultant used 7QC tools to solve this problem. Let's see how this has been used. I hope video clarity has come to all the audience participants. Is it restored?
Yes, the videos.
But this is not moving yet. Just out of here. That's it.
No.
Just sorry for some technical problems in the screen. And then let me come to that. Yeah, sorry for interruption. There was some technical snag in the system. Now I'm sure now you are able to see. Okay. So friends, so this is the problem of express express coffee shop, how it has been solved using this particular. As I mentioned, the technique is PDCA. It has got 4 phases: plan, do, check, act. This is divided in 8 steps. First is the most important part is the plan. Is you have to define what exactly the customer wants. Then second, evaluate current quality performance. What is the gap between the customer expectation and the actual performance? Then third step is set a quality improvement targets. And fourth step, analyze the current process. You collect the data and analyze the process. What is the cause of the problem? Then identify the problems. This is the planning is most crucial. This requires the 5 steps to identify the cause and the problem which need to be solved. Then the 2 phase, they develop and implement appropriate solutions so that the cause of the problem is eliminated. The check phase, after the implementation of the solution, is it giving the desired result or not? That you have to check it. If it is coming okay, then standardize the process. If it is not coming okay as per the plan, then you have to go back and revise your plan. So this is a do, check, act. This is a technique. So let's see in the first step what to do. First step, deciding quality standard for a steel item. Any engineering item is much easier, but it's a very, very big challenge for deciding how to fix quality standard for a bread, which of course every day we are using billions of breads, but setting the quality is a greatest challenge. How it can be done? Yeah, how to decide what is the exact quality requirement? You have to conduct an experiment in the language of quality. It is called a design of experiment. To that, you have to select many samples. Like let's take 9 samples, and with different parameters, you have to toast the bread and take out and set in the different quality classification. Just like in this experiment was conducted, and the quality of bread classified in 9 categories. Which one is the best? This target is quite obvious. Target was set that we want the toast quality, golden brown crisp toast, which must be served hot. This is the desired quality. And if we just go, then we can decide what must be rejected, what must be accepted. The main target is number 5, as is shown. This must be displayed in front of every operator or the cook who is preparing the bread. Visually, he must be able to see how to define the quality. So number 1, 2 has to be outrightly rejected as 1, 2 and 8, 9. 1 is under toasted and 8, 9 is over toasted. They must be rejected straight away. The target is the 5 number, and 4, 6 can be also accepted, and 3, 7 is a second quality. In this way, we are fixing the standard by using the 7 QC tools. The problem is coming. Yeah, so this way, first a target and the standard was made in the planning stage. Now, second step is quality performance of the company. So current quality, as it was mentioned in the beginning, 50% toasts are being scrapped due to overheating. The target quality is now the 5, that is a golden brown crisp served hot, that is the requirement of the quality requirement of the coffee shop. So they have to improve the quality by at least 50% to ensure that everybody gets good quality. So now, just by assessing the current situation, we are trying to find out the gap. What is the problem? Problem is nothing but gap between customer expectation and actual performance. Here, customer expectation was a golden. If we just go back, number 5 quality is the expectation of customer, but we are getting 50%, more than 50% as a scrap bread. So what is the gap? Means 50% is not coming to the quality standard. So that is a problem. So that problem needs to be solved to improve the quality of the bread. Here, the problem is undesirable result of any process. A problem is an opportunity for improvement. It has to be taken as opportunity for improvement to produce good quality, to apply our knowledge and skill to evolve our processes. So eliminating the cause of the gap between target and actual is called the problem solving. In fact, the quality management is nothing but a problem solving. So any defect comes, that is because of certain problems. Once that problem is solved, defect disappears and quality starts appearing again. So to solve the problems, we need two things: one, technique, and the tools, as I mentioned earlier. So technique is a PDCA and tools are the 7 QC tools we are going to use. So third step of problem solving is set quality improvement targets. What is target? Now our target is now the make 95% toast in acceptable range of 4, 5, 6 grade, as we have set the target. So earlier it was coming only 50%, now it has to be increased by 45%. This is the target of PDCA approach. Next step is the fourth step: analyze the current process. How to analyze? Analysis can be done based on the data only. Data has to be fresh data. It has to be collected by developing an experiment based on certain rational parameters. First, we have to decide what exactly data we need to collect. In this case, toast quality, 23 pieces of bread toasted. Under the experiment, 23 pieces bread toasted with measurement all process variables and output toast quality measurement. All data compiled using check sheets and analyzed using various QC tools. All this has been done. Now we have to first, another tool is that the flow diagram, how the bread is made, toasted. First, in a toaster, first plug in a toaster with the socket. Then get a bread, set the parameters. Two parameters are important: time and temperature of the toaster. Then insert bread, depress lever to make it on, wait, it pops up automatically once it is toasted as per the time and temperature setting. Then it is inspected. If it is okay, it is served. If it is not okay, it is overburnt or it is under toasted, then it is scrapped or it can be repaired. So based on this is the total flow diagram, one of the essential tools. The very first step for any process, we must make what is chronological sequence of operations which produces the product. So this is the called as this is the flow diagram. Based on the flow diagram, we decide the data. Here helps what are the parameters. Here the two parameters most important. This is another tool, that's standard operating procedure. The whole thing is written, all the sequence of steps are written in a particular format so that that knowledge can be passed on to every operator. So this is the way. So once the consultant came, visited the coffee shop kitchen and tried to understand the toast making process by observing the operation. How to understand the process? Based on the process flow and standard operating procedure. These are two essential documents must be there for every operation to ensure that quality product is made. So the quality consultant observed the cook's action, put the bread in the toaster, makes toaster power on and forget it. Because we understand, we believe that once it is put on, toaster is made on, after setting up time and temperature, it will pop up once it is toasted. But what happens after some time, he smelled something going wrong, like this one, smoke started coming, then come to, so then he realized what is the problem. In the express coffee shop during the breakfast, the customer are not able to get the quality. Most of the customers refusing to eat toast. This problem is being faced since last 2 months. It has resulted in 50% increase in cost of toast due to rejection and damaging the reputation of the restaurant. So the problem has to be defined so that the whole team can understand. Like this statement, it tells what is happening, since when it is happening, and what is the impact, financial impact on the company because of this problem. So this gives severity. Now here comes all the process operators, process operation people. They must come out what are the various factors which are causing the defect. Here it has been mentioned in the previous slides, there are forums are used: material, methods, machines, and the people. Here the material, what data need to be collected regarding the material. In the bread, one of the very, very important parameters, those who are the expert in the bakery, they explain the moisture content in the bread. Here it cannot be measured in a bread in our kitchen, but practically it can be observed as the age of the bread, the time between bread production to the use, that is the age of bread. The more number of hours, the moisture content of the bread continuously decreases because of the evaporation. So that is one of the main factors which impact the quality of bread. Then the method related to operator is the toaster time setting. Every operator must understand there must be standard operating practices to set how many seconds it has to be tested. Then temperature setting, at what temperature it has to be set for how many seconds. Then the reason of failure of the machine is thermostat. If it fails, then it will not pop up and it will continue to on heating it. The machine, another is heating element failures. So these are the 5 main parameters which are affecting the bread quality. So the data related to these 5 parameters were collected. A series of data collection was made under that. Quality of bread, if you see, the Q indicates quality of bread, 5 is the target quality, 7 is the bad quality. So each bread and age of the bread was found out when it was produced in the bakery and when it is being used. So you will find in this experiment different means 9 hours, 7 hours, 6 hours old, these breads. And once they were toasted at a particular same temperature and time setting, then the quality that varies. So this way it helps identifying the causes of the problem. So all the data, the defective breads, why they have failed, it was collected means the wrong temperature setting. There was wrong temperature. Because of the wrong temperature setting, we got the 9 breads which have been defective. Wrong time setting, 14 breads that were scrapped. Higher age of the bread, because they are much older, it means there was moisture content less, 36 breads were rejected. Heating element failure, because of that 8 breads were rejected. And thermostat failure, this is 17 breads were rejected. So out of a lot size of 168, 84 breads were rejected during a week time because of these reasons. So this helped to identify the actual data of the process parameters, process problems. So now using the 7QC tools, these are put in a visual form, bar graph. So immediately one can find out instead of a table. So what is the, how much breads were within the quality specification, the red one how much has been rejected, yellow one within the limits. So this way, by putting that one, any manager can find out what is the current performance status of my process. Same now if it is put in histogram, another quality tools. Here the upper control limit means beyond 7 it has to be rejected, and here the below 2 it has to be rejected. So this shows the process performance. This is the histogram. One can find out the frequency of that. Also how many breaths is this, shows the pattern of the your process performance. Histogram, this is used. So histograms here, if you see, we have to bring this particular curve within the control limits. Why this is happening? We have to identify the region and try to compress the performance in the process so that this all red one eliminated, everything comes in the acceptable level. So scatter diagram is used to analyze the problems. If you see number 5 bread, the best quality we got it when the age of the bread was 6 hours or 7 hours. This established a guideline. If bread making to toasting period is more than 6 or 7 hours, the most of the breads will be rejected. It will be not of good quality, it cannot give the good quality toast. So by scatter diagram, by using these data, so this has brought a real conclusion that in the future help them to find out the real cause. In the future, all the breads must be consumed within 6 to 7 hours of their use. If it is earlier, again it is going to give problem. If it is older, then again it has to be scrapped. So by using these QC tools, finally analyzing all this data has to be done under a controlled experiment during a period of time and analyzed manually. Finally, one has to come, what is the real root cause of the problem? Here, root is invisible, just like any tree, we cannot see, it is much deeper. So it can be seen only through the data analysis and relationship. That needs knowledge of process, that needs knowledge of tools. So by using the tools and process technology, we can find out, in this case, what is the root cause? Age of the bread. It means time between the bread making, the moment it leaves the bakery and the moment it is used. If it is used quicker, then moisture will be more, so it won't be well cooked. If it is later, then it won't be, it will be burnt. So here, this is the finding that age of the bread is the most important to control the quality of. Now the cause and effect diagram is used. I'm not going in much detail because itself this needs one day workshop only to understand and practice the cause and effect diagram. There are 4 main regions: operator, toaster, method, and the bread. Material, bread is the material. These are the, if anything is burnt, it is either of some deficiency in the operator, wrong time setting, wrong temperature setting, or the toaster, it is a failure of the heating element or failure of the thermostat. Bread means moisture content is more or less, and the method, how the whole thing is being operated. So the cause and effect diagram is used to find out the actual cause, and what we have found that age of the bread is one of the major reasons, and other causes are the which is causing the impacting the bad quality or the defect in the bread is the wrong temperature setting, wrong time setting, higher age of the bread, heating element failure, thermostat. So with the help of these QC tools, knowledge of quality problem solving technique and the knowledge of process, we identified these are the 5 factors which must be controlled to ensure the good quality of the product. So this is applicable in every kind of product, whether it is a bread or whether it is a deep trans steel component, auto component, or whether it is a medicine or the paper, everywhere. So gradually we come to know what are the factors, those must be controlled to ensure good quality of the product. Now, now we have found out these various problems. Now we have to decide what is the priority of problems. You cannot attack all the problems immediately because any production process, the priority is always to go for the regular production. But to solve the problems, we have to identify all the problems and develop a Pareto diagram which helps us to identify what should be the sequence of attacking the problem. The first problem which must be attacked, which is impacting maximum on the quality, productivity, or the cost. So here we have got the 5 problems in this process. Age of the bread, frequency, it happened 36 times. How the Pareto diagram is made here explains. First you have to get the frequency, how many times it has happened during that total experimentation. Then the cumulative is taken, then the percentage of overall is taken, then cumulative percentage is made. This table is made and this table is presented in a Pareto diagram. 5, the bread age, thermostat failure, time setting, wrong time setting, temperature setting, element failure. These are 5 main problems. Here if you see the 80% problems because of the only 3 problems. Bread age, thermostat, time setting. So the first, immediately the coffee shop should take action to attack these 3 problems to control the bread age, which must be within 6 to 7 hours, thermostat setting so that it is not failing, and time setting, the clear instruction for all the operators to follow this one. I'm sure now all of you are able to see it. If anybody is not able to see or any questions are there, please put on your computer. I can reply and clarify it. So the Pareto diagram has helped to prioritize. These are the 3 main problems which must be attacked immediately. So now we have analyzed the data. Now finally we have to identify what are the actual problems which must be attacked. What is the problem? Is again the gap. The gap is the problem. Gap is the actual target minus actual performance. Whatever the difference, that is the gap. Bigger the gap, more severe the problem. Smaller the gap, insignificant is the problem. So what is the causing defect? In fact, the gap is causing the defect, which we call it problem. Now, based on the data analysis, we have come to the conclusion that now what are the real problems? We identified 5 problems, but 2 are the prioritized because this is impacting 80% of the quality defects. So higher age of the bread, effect is that if it is a higher age, less moisture, that is causing burning of the bread. Thermostat failure, if it is not able to control the temperature, then the overheating and burning of the bread. These 2 are the main problems, and the other 3 problems are wrong time setting because of not proper, that is causing effect is not proper heating, wrong temperature setting, not proper heating, heating element failure, not proper heating. So these are the 5 problems by use of these tools we identified, and first and second must be immediately at this. Now the next step is do. So far 5 steps are required in the planning. It is like if you want to cut a tree, you have to sharpen your saw. That is exactly, the planning is very, very important. Means it is your saw. Otherwise, if it is a blunt saw, go on putting effort, you won't be able to cut. So the planning part requires a lot of knowledge, actual analysis, and the understanding of tools, application of tools, collecting the factual data, analyzing it properly, then only will be able to solve the problems. Now the second phase is the do phase, develop and implement solution. Now we have got it. How to do? The tool is that basically the brainstorming. All of you must be aware. It is one person's idea is important, or 10 person's collective idea, which is more powerful. Here, this is Means basically that it is a quality problem solving is team effort. Everybody has to come together, brainstorm and find out solution. Just one person, whatever the manager says or the supervisor or the leader, one person says, it may not be correct. So it's always better to involve everybody. Let the people discuss among themselves. So the brainstorming is again a technique that requires a separate training. So everybody must contribute, all the operators, whether they are formally qualified or not, irrespective, because all inventions were made by the non-specialists. So here the persons who are touching the process, involved in the process, they should come, they must be told this is the problem. Everybody should come collectively to give the solution. And out of all the solutions, which is the most appropriate, that has to be selected and put in practice. So the tool here is the brainstorming tool. So now what problems we have faced? We have identified problems. First is higher age of the bread. What is solution? That is called countermeasure. Solution is that you must make sure that bread served has been prepared 6 to 7 hours before serving. Now one can very well control it. The moment bread has been made, timing is given, and when you are toasting it, one can see that 6 to 7 hours, not before 6 hours and not after 7 hours. So that way the quantity of bread should be brought only here. The Kanban comes. One has to control that bread is not coming in a big lot. It is coming based on the consumption pattern, so that within 6 or 7 hours old bread is only being served. Second is thermostat failure. Change the quality of thermostat used. Might be a very bad quality thermostat was being used. Now one has to purchase people or the maintenance people, they have to make sure that only good quality reliable thermostats are being put in use. Then third is the wrong time setting. Prepare a SOP. How to ensure that correct time setting for a standard operating procedure, big chart, and put in front of your toaster, where every operator is trained and told that what should be temperature setting for the bread, and they must follow that one. The fourth problem was wrong temperature setting. Again, with the SOP, one can set how much will be time setting, how much will be temperature setting. All these tables are in front of every operator, and they are trained to follow them. Then the fifth one is heating element failure. Again, it is a purchasing problem or the maintenance problem. Use the reliable quality of heating elements. Ensure that stable supply of power to element to prevent the element failure. So this way, the simple bread quality, which that depends on these 5 factors, we could identify and find solution through use of these 7 QC tools. And these are the solutions. Now this has been developed. This has to be put in practice. Once it is put in practice, we have to see that we cannot be sure that whatever solution we have made, that is a foolproof. Again, you have to collect a fresh set of data based on the improved procedure and parameters, and collect the samples and data. Then after the improvement of solutions, then wrong temperature setting, all these 5 parameters, a sample was taken, which was a 50% rejection. It came to just 5% rejection. So it means that our solutions were correct, and this way we became sure. Now we have to improve our processes using the 7 QC tools and put it. Now the next step becomes how to make sure that this new improved method is sustainable. It's very easy to find a new solution, but quite difficult to sustain it. For a sustenance, all of you must be aware of one very powerful thermodynamic terminology, entropy. Entropy is, in general, in simple language, it is called degree of disorderness. Any new machine, new system you purchase, you start using, so it becomes more and more disorder, and ultimately, if it is disorder is not controlled, it bricks. Just like here, you are collecting brick, it is being used, and gradually people are making it disordered. So what needs to be done? It has to be again put back in the order. If it is not put back in order, then it will disappear. That is it. So as per the law of entropy, unless we add energy through a control mechanism, process will tend to degenerate over time and lose the effect of improvement. So once we have made improvement here from 50% scrap to it has come down to 5%, then how to make sure that this is, so here the control mechanism is required. One other. So how we can do using the quality control tools, we have to revise our standard operating procedures. We have to again revise the improved procedure and replace the old one and train everybody based on the revised SOP, and finally ensure that control chart, one of the very famous QC tools, what it says, anything goes out of limit, it means there is something wrong in the process. The control chart that immediately gives if any abnormality happens, it means that we have to find out the cause of the problem and take appropriate action. So the control chart is used for the process control to make sure that whatever is being produced, it is within the quality specification. So this way, 7 types of quality tools, what we have learned: flow diagram, quality standard, histogram, cause and defect diagram, control chart, scatter diagram, tally sheet, Pareto diagram. We have learned this one. So this is just introduction. I am sure that you must have got an idea how powerful are these tools. So this requires deep understanding, which is possible only through proper training and skill development, which can help every company to improve it. Now let's see real steel component case study. I was doing some consulting, lean consulting to a company. This is the item. These are the basically for dynamo of a two-wheeler vehicle they are making. This is the company located in Faridabad, Uttar Pradesh. This is being produced. They had a problem and we trained their people, tried to analyze the problem using 7 QC tools, and which helped them to find a proper solution. So this is a quality inspection is going on for this particular breakdown. So here I name company raw materials, hot rolled sheets, rotor production process that involves blanking, embossing, machining, drilling, and electroplating. During the last 2 months, the defect of product increased 7.5%, which is 3% higher than industry benchmark. Product return OEM also increased. Company was concerned about poor quality performance and initiated action to improve quality performance by reducing the. Briefly, I am just giving here how the same thing was. 7 QC tools were used to solve this auto component quality problem. So once you are going to use these tools, first you have to select a problem. Here, like a rotor drum, rejection rate was more. This is the problem, and the OEMs, we are getting return from the OEMs also. So that was a matter of concern. So once you select a problem, then form a project team and train the team members. Here the formation of team, the persons who are touching the process 24/7, they should be team members. Outside expert cannot give the solution. Quality inspectors, customers should be team, and they must learn the 7 QC tools and problem solving techniques. Then measure the current performance of the process. As I explained in the break, a lot of experiments were conducted under controlled conditions. So many data were collected related to quality problems, and they were involved. Analyze, to investigate, analyze the root cause, and develop and implement appropriate solution. And the people, the team, based on the data, they should analyze the root cause and develop a right solution through brainstorming and then put in practice. Confirm the effects of improved working. Once it is started giving positive results, then means the solution taken, countermeasure actions taken were the correct. And once it has improved, then standardize and control the new method and improve. Means your SOPs has to be revised, and then the success must be celebrated to motivate the people. Let's see here. The same PDCA and 7QC tools were there. Plan the 5 steps, do solve the problem, and check is the verifying the results whether they are favorable or unfavorable. If it is favorable, standardize the process. If it is not coming as per the plan, again go back to the planning stage and revise your plan. So here the process flow diagram. See what are the problem here. The main problem was that one of the major problems were that quality of steel was poor. Here the main defects which were coming in the product were the plating defects, surface defects, dimensional defects, and embossing defects. Out of analysis of all types of problems, these are the 4 types of defects which needed to be addressed. So just to first to improve that one, if you remember, you have to set a target. You have to first customer expectation you have to set. So that must be clear to every operator. What is the exact specification? What is the micron thickness? What is the uniformity of the chrome plating? Then surface specification means what is the surface smoothness level, dent, scratch, all these things. Then dimensional specification, what is the tolerance lesson and tolerance levels. All these 4 specifications must be set. These are the targets for the quality. Then collect relevant data. All the 4 kinds of defects, the data were collected based on the actual performance. The same data can be put in the bar graph. If this is put in the bar graph, this is just again indicating, not the exact. If it is good, immediately it will strike why things are fluctuating. So the bar graph used for the presentation of the data. Now the measurement of defects based on the actual performance, rating defects in the baseline earlier 7.42%, surface defect 5.47%, dimensional defects were coming to 0.54%, so embossing defects 0.38%. So based on the Pareto principle, first we should attack the plating defects and surface defects. Other are insignificant that can be attacked later. So here applying the Pareto chart that gives these 2 the major defects which must be addressed immediately without any delay. So cause investigation, the plating defect. One of the major problem of rework is the poor quality of electroplating. Electroplating process is outsourced. In Faridabad I have seen there is one sector is allotted for the electroplating industry because of the pollution problems. So all auto component producers, they outsource to them. So therefore the supplier was asked to improve quality. So earlier blindly whatever the electroplating agency was doing and it was being supplied. Now because of these problems, the reason of the poor electroplating, immediately a quality control check was used by the principal and supplier to make sure that electroplating agency which is outsourced, they have to improve the quality as per the quality specification. The surface defect, the second most critical problem related to quality is surface defect. It is mainly due to the raw material quality. I personally asked them what they were, how they were buying. They were buying based on the cheapest one, and there was no control of any supplier. Means sometimes whatever they are getting, and every time the supplier was changed, and the material quality was varying due to lower cost by inferior suppliers. So the main here, the purchasing decision has to be improved. First, a proper solution has to evolve, means you have to identify who should be your supplier. So they identified, like later they made sure that it should be either Tata Steel or the Steel Authority of India product only. Otherwise they are buying from so many without any identification. So that needs change in their purchasing process. So height variation, embossing variations are the smaller causes, but it was again tightened by instructing the operators, by training them and developing a proper standard operating procedure. So analysis of the cause means basically the same way cause and effect diagram is used for analyzing the cause. So what are the causes? Low plating means three different kinds of defects: low plating thickness, non-uniform plating, chipping up plating. So incorrect process parameters, poor handling. So the outsourced agency who was doing electroplating, they were informed about these things and they were trained also, persuaded to monitor these particular factors so that the quality improves. Surface defect, where the unevenness, scratches, dents, slivers, low hardness. So poor quality of material, unbranded supplier, poor handling, poor operating. So these are the four causes in the surface defect to control the, and the two main causes in the plating defects. So the action was taken. Now the improvement actions or countermeasures. Now what is advised to them? Process parameter is standardized. So a proper parameters of the voltage, temperature, the solution concentration, monitoring, all these things were standardized and given to the electroplating agency to monitor those. Operational discipline improved, is their SOP was revised and they were asked that they must follow it properly. Handling practices improved. The careless handling that was causing chipping up many places, the dent and the chipping of the plating also. So handling practice was improved, different methods were used. Quality control practices started, means stringent quality control supervision was ensured. For surface defect, purchasing procedure was standardized. Only selected reputed vendors were made as a supplier of steel. Steel purchasing started from Tata Steel or other reputed suppliers, not from any unknown supplier. Incoming quality inspection incorporated. Before accepting the purchased hot rolled sheets, incoming inspection was done. If it was not following, because any dent coming in the incoming material you can't rectify in your production process. So it was stringent incoming inspection was incorporated. Production process standardized. Handling practices improved to prevent damage. All operators trained on new improved procedures. Quality control practices started. So these were the actions taken based on the use of these tools, analysis of the problems and outcome of the countermeasures. So this way a control chart was introduced to monitor all the processes in various areas, like in electroplating, their voltage, current, concentration, all these things, in the deep drying and all these processes where these controls were exercised depending on the nature of process. So this way the continuous improvement of quality, the plating quality went up from 92.58% to 96.24%, surface quality from 94.53 to 97.7%. So with the use of quality tools, the continuous improvement in the quality can happen. So these are some live examples and the concepts to make you people understand the importance of these tools, how they can really improve quality of the products of the company. So today, if you see from the business angle, quality is the most important parameter. As a buyer, or whether we are buying a vegetable or engineering item or any textile, we immediately first see the quality. So quality, that will determine the growth of any organization, whether it is small, big or large, immaterial. So, and this quality can be made by every company, provided they learn, apply and use modern quality management tools. And the very first step is the 7QC tools is the most effective, most versatile, proven, which can be learned by every small, large or medium organization. So my purpose of this webinar, means intention was to make the SMEs understand the power of 7QC tools. So just by this webinar, one cannot implement. Here all the operators, supervisors, managers, engineers involved in the production process, they must learn and practice. It requires a lot of training, skill development, and most important, putting this in practice. So definitely this will continuously improve the quality. In this way, any small or medium company can also become world-class quality producer. So with this, you can solve all types of business problems using 7QC tools. Here I just gave example for a defect or the quality improvement. But all the problems, business, whether it is financial, procurement, strategic, operational, by applying the 4-phase methodology, plan, do, and using 7QC tools, can be solved using this unique technique. So now my advice, how a company should implement 7QC tools. So first, organize a quality awareness training in your company. I am sure this 1.5 hours webinar must have given you the power of 7QC tools, how it can be applied. You have seen 2 examples, one bread, which is more challenging, and another is in the steel company, auto company. Most of you must be making a lot of auto components. First, the step is organizing a quality awareness training in your company. It's not only for managers, all operators in their local language. It must be made them to understand. Then identify the quality problems of your company. Just make a list of your company. I suggest to all the people participating. You will find hundreds of problems. Make project teams. For each problem, the relevant people who are impacted by that problem, they should be part of the team. Make project teams, solve the quality problem. Train the project teams to master 7QC tools. They must learn these tools, how to use. Let the project team solve quality problems under guidance of a quality expert. You have to have a coach who is the quality expert who can help your people solve the problem. Develop a culture of continuous improvement of people competence. Most important, first, to improve the quality of your product, you have to improve the quality of your people. How it can improve? By proper training and skill development. Then improve your process capability. Your process must be more capable and product features to become world-class company. First, the people, the process, and then the culture of the company must improve towards the quality. So finally, quality is a journey, not a destination. So the quality is a continuous process. There cannot be the ultimate quality. Quality will be continuously upgrading. Its standards will come up better and better. So the companies, they have to continuously learn the new tools, techniques, and go on continuously improving. This way, only quality can be attained and improved. With this, I thank you all. If you have got any questions, I'll be glad to clarify. Of course, subject is quite technical comparatively, but still you can write your questions, whatever clarifications you want. I'll be glad to clarify. Thank you.